I just lost my job that I got 6 weeks ago. And before you say, oh, it's because of social media, it isn't. They laid off the entire division that I worked for.
Losing your job is a common occurrence in 2025 and 2024. In fact, maybe even 2023. Going all the way back 3 years, there has been plenty of job losses, not just in Canada, but also in the United States and the United Kingdom. In fact, all over the Western world, we've seen massive job losses ever since the pandemic ended. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that AI is taking over jobs. We have inflation, we have bad economies, we have horrible disruptions in so many sectors. And right now, it's affecting not just young Canadians, not just young people, but also older individuals as well. We're gonna be taking a look at quite a few TikToks and reacting to them. And I want your guys' opinions about the videos down below in the comment section.
You know that moment when you realize that you've been on a high for so long and you know shit's about to come crashing down because it's been too good for too long? I just lost my job that I got 6 weeks ago. And before you say, oh, it's because of social media, it isn't. They laid off the entire division that I worked for. Everybody lost their jobs. Hundreds of people lost their jobs. So there goes my company car. There goes all the above. This is so not funny. Like, I just remember thinking the other day, I'm like, shit's way too good. Like, things are going great in my life. I got a great career. Like, I got everything I could possibly want in this life. And then I lost my job.
Sometimes it is good to kind of practice different thought experiments. When things are going really good, it's always good to brace yourself for what could be coming next, right? Like it's never good to be too comfortable is what I always say. You know, comfortability is not necessarily a good thing. I mean, it feels good, but you have to be, you have to be ready. Like there is also examples of this if you ever heard of quiet quitting, where someone gets too comfortable at a company or they just don't like it anymore and they're like, well, I'm just gonna basically milk this company because I don't really do much work anyways, and I have an easy paycheck coming in. And that, I guess, is also a form of comfort. It's never too good to be too comfortable, but regardless, the job market is changing and people might be looking for other side hustles. And some of the side hustles are considered kind of jokes to some people, like content creation.
I lost my job today, so if you could watch this video for like 5 to 10 seconds, it would really help me out, because I want to talk about this idea that creators need to get a real job, juxtaposed with the fact that I have now been laid off 5 times in the last 7 years. 2 of those times I was working for a startup and they closed their doors. They ran out of funding. 2 of those times I was working for startups and they got acquired and they brought their own marketing team. And so our marketing teams were let go. So what defines a real job? What defines stability? Because in my experience, there isn't any. And the only way to survive is to have multiple revenue streams. And when you dig into most of these creators, most of them do have full-time real jobs.
Yep, that's true. Like you should have multiple revenue streams, and I did. I was a content creator before, content creator now, even more so than I was before, but I did have other revenue streams. I had a full-time job. A lot of content creators have full-time jobs or part-time jobs. You have other methods of making money on the side in the gig economy. Some people do DoorDash or Uber Eats or Uber in general, but there's other ways to make money too, like reselling on eBay, and that is something that I do to kind of expand my income, but that's not for everyone, but if it's for you and it's something that you've done in the past, let me know down below in the comment section if there is any side hustle that you would recommend for anyone who's afraid of losing their job in 2025. All right, let's take a look at the next video right here. This one is an interesting one.
Managers do discriminate against the unemployed, specifically the long-term unemployed. And that's usually after about 6 months. And here's why. So lots of people lost their job during the pandemic, millions. But millions of other people kept their job, had to work through the entire thing, and then some because they were reduced in staff. They were doing the work of 2 or 3 people. Meanwhile, they watched lots of people stay home, collect unemployment, and get an extra amount of money. So in their mind, when it comes time to hiring again, they want to hire people who are willing to hustle. And they're going to ask you what you did and why you've been unemployed so long. And the reality is, in their mind, if you lost your job, you were dispensable. And if you weren't able to find a new job relatively quickly, then maybe something is wrong. So you've got to have a really good answer to the question of why you have been unemployed for so long. COVID will only be a good answer for about 3 months. After that, you have to be able to articulate what you've been doing, how you've been hustling, or you will struggle.
That is a scary thought. So, I mean, what if your reasoning is, I just can't find a job? The employer is just going to see that gap in your resume history and say, well, it's too bad, okay? Because COVID's over. You can find a job. There's plenty of jobs. Meanwhile, people are being laid off left, right, and center. But, sometimes people don't read the news or are not aware of it regardless, I do think it is good to have something that you could say during that time, whether, you could say you're working for yourself, you're contracting, or even saying like you're being an Uber driver or something like that. As long as you show that you were working or hustling, essentially, I guess what her whole point was, then it would be better. But I don't know if that's actually the case. Let me know down below in the comment section.
Do you think, and I don't know how to quantify this just yet, the human interaction that you lose when you lose a job is a big detriment to your like mental health and your brain development and your professional development? And I think people crave a space where they can work and showcase their talents and their skills. And all these people are highly talented, highly skilled people. And so in the channels, I think what I've been figuring out is it's the interaction, it's the way that like we're allowing people to lead calls. So if you're like, I'm a marketing expert, I want to connect with other marketing people, can I lead a call? Sure, lead a call, and you get to like present your skills, you get to like do your public speaking, do whatever to like keep yourself going to find the right thing, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of like social sharing or knowledge sharing. And
yeah, it almost feels like a workplace.
That's what we're treating it like. And so we have 31 volunteers who have a
Yeah, so I mean, I do think there is a real truth to that. When I was working at home during the pandemic, there was a lot of places that were closed, so I was connecting a lot online with my friends. We were texting a lot, calling a lot, FaceTime, and doing Zoom calls with friends on like a Friday night. And it did feel good, but it didn't feel the same. Like you want to be able to actually hang out with your employees, your coworkers, and basically, showcase your talent sometimes, like talk or shoot the shit, water cooler conversations, just in general, just to feel some sort of a connection with your coworkers. And working by yourself like me and alone, I do feel like a mental state where I'm like, what is going on? Is this even real life? Like I have no one to talk to all day. I'll talk to my cats because I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm becoming a crazy cat man. But regardless, I do think there's a lot of truth to that, and I do think that mental health is a real issue for people who are unemployed, especially if you're unemployed and you genuinely want to work. Like you're trying to find work as much as you can, and the job market is just telling you no, there is no jobs for you.
I told you guys I was let go today after 20 years. No reason given. No conversation. No one called me. Just a shitty formal letter. And then I found out that someone I thought had my back was holding the knife. And that's got me kind of shaken. I can be, despite my snarky nature, I can be naive sometimes, and I didn't see it coming. Feeling pretty down. The dogs are helping, of course. They always do. Hi guys. I have 6 fosters right now, and I'll keep doing this, and I feel like once I get over this, I'll be in a better place overall. I just kind of need some help getting through this hurt. So if you have any advice or just words of support, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always good to have, something to kind of fall back on in terms of support. Obviously, she has her dogs. I got my cats, 2 can tango. But regardless, I do think that is very important what she's saying as well. Like you need some support as well. Just like I was talking about mental health. If you don't have a job, it can really affect your mental health. And obviously not having a job when you're someone who wants to work that's even worse. But losing jobs is not just for the young right now. The job market is also affecting older individuals like this lady here, and it's happening a lot more in 2025. Leave your thoughts about this video down below in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.